The sun burned hot behind the gym, turning the brick wall into a furnace and the asphalt into a skillet. There were no cameras back here, only the smell of rubber and the faint thrum of the marching band practicing on the far field. Sophia Moretti stood with her back against the wall, her green cotton top clinging to her skin, black skirt brushing her knees. 19. Senior year. The girl everyone overlooked until they needed someone to ignore. She had counted the cracks in the bricks 100 times before. Today, she counted heartbeats instead. A voice broke the silence like a starter pistol. "Hey, rule breaker." Tyler Hargrove stepped into the sunlight first, his varsity jacket hanging over one shoulder. Behind him, Mason Klein pocketed his phone, already recording. Tyler grinned wide, the kind of smile that had never once been told number. Mason crushed an energy drink in between his fingers, metal popping like a warning. "Green top on a Thursday," Tyler announced. "That's a violation." A nervous laugh rippled through the cluster of students leaning against the fence. Phones rose like periscopes. Sophia's fingers curled against the wall, but her face stayed blank. She had promised her father no scenes, no headlines, no blood on the 6 o'clock news. Mason flicked the can tab. "Apologize to the student body," he said. "Soft. Say you're sorry for disrespecting the dress code." She bit the inside of her cheek until she tasted blood. The sun pressed down. Somewhere beyond the gym, Tyler stepped closer, close enough for her to smell the cologne that tried too hard. He lifted her chin with 2 fingers, his touch soft and poisonous. "Cat got your tongue, princess?" The circle tightened. Someone whispered, "Just do it. It'll be over." Sophia's pulse pounded in her ears. She heard her father's voice in her head breathe through the fear. "Fear is just noise." Tyler's phone appeared, lens inches from her face. "Smile," he said. Mason shoved her shoulder, just enough to make the brick bite her spine. "On your knees." "That's the fine." Her first tear slipped, hot and traitorous. Laughter rose around here, then cut off as a low-engine growl rolled across the lot. A black sedan stopped at the edge of the asphalt, gravel crunching under its tires. No one could read the plates. The driver's door opened. For a long moment, nothing happened, then sunlight caught on the glint of a watch. The laughter died. Phones lowered. Tyler tried to laugh. "Ignore the Uber, guys." But Mason's eyes flicked from the car to Sophia. The air shifted, heavy as a storm about to break. She stayed half-crouched, no longer crying. She knew that watch. The man who stepped out was tall, gray-haired, sharp in a charcoal suit. 2 more men climbed out behind him, silent and solid. He didn't walk so much as measure the distance between them. When his eyes found hers, the mask slipped just long enough for her to see the worry behind it. Then it was gone again, replaced by the cold precision of power. "Sophia," he said softly, "are you hurt?" The circle broke apart. Phones dropped. Mason stepped back. "I'm fine, Papa." The word landed like a bomb. Papa, not Dad, not father. The kind of word that came from someone who could buy the school, burn it, or make it disappear. Tyler's phone slipped from his hand and hit the ground, screen shattering. Don Moretti's expression didn't change. "Gentlemen," he said. The man beside him moved forward. One dabbed the tear track from Sophia's cheek with a silk handkerchief. The other opened a small notebook. "Names," Don said. Tyler stammered. "Sir, this was just a—" "I know who you are," Don interrupted, almost gently. "Your father golfs with the mayor." Terrible swing. The handkerchief disappeared back into a pocket. Sophia met Tyler's eyes. There were no tears left, only winter. "We were joking." Tyler tried again. "School stuff, I don't joke," Don said. "But I will make sure this doesn't happen again." He turned to the crowd. Phones. Hands shook. Screens went dark. One girl dropped hers. The case split, a glittery unicorn charm snapping in 2. "By tonight, every video is gone," Don said quietly. "Anyone who keeps a copy will find their college plans complicated. Anyone who posts Ida." He didn't finish. He didn't need to. The phones were collected in silence. Don offered his arm to Sophia. She took it. The varsity jackets looked childish now, like costumes. As they walked away, Tyler whispered, "We didn't know." She paused. "You never asked." The sedan door closed. Gravel sprayed. The car vanished. leaving behind exhaust and fear. But that was only the beginning, because Sophia Moretti had not cried in years, not since the night her mother didn't come home from the store, and the city was about to learn what happened when someone crossed her father. The tears that day weren't weakness, they were bait. Days earlier, on Wednesday, the circle had been smaller, just Tyler, Mason, and a sophomore named Ethan. They'd built a list: infractions, fines, and public apologies. The dress code rule was just the latest in a long line of humiliations. Sophia had watched them for months, quiet, invisible, listening. Her father's men dropped her off blocks away so no one would connect her name to the estate on the hill. She wore the same green top often, the one that didn't scream money. When they fined Ethan $20 for mismatched socks, she texted one emoji to a contact labeled library. 10 minutes later, Ethan's phone pinged a transfer from scholarship fund. His money, plus a tip. He never knew who sent it. Sophia did. That was the first thread she pulled. By Thursday morning, she had set the trap. But traps need to and teeth. That night, she sat in the marble kitchen while her father cooked. He didn't look at her when he spoke. "You let them touch you." "They didn't hit me," she said. "I needed the video." He turned, eyes sharp. "And now we see her flinches first." His voice softened. "I built walls so you wouldn't have to fight my wars." "Your walls have doors, Papa," she said. They walked through one. He almost smiled. "Rules. No bodies. No headlines. They leave school poorer, not dead." She smirked. "I had a good teacher." By Friday, the videos were gone, wiped from every cloud in phone. By second period, Tyler was sweating through his jersey. Mason skipped lunch to call his mother. The school's phones rang non-stop. No one could trace a thing. That afternoon, an announcement echoed through the halls: Tyler Hargrove and Mason Klein, report to the principal's office. Dr. Patel waited behind her desk. 2 envelopes sat before her, sealed with wax. "Your parents have been informed," she said. "Effective immediately. You're suspended pending investigation into extortion and harassment." They tried to argue. She didn't let them. When they left, she opened a drawer and took out a single black chestnut, placing it beside her nameplate. Outside, Tyler tore open his envelope. Inside was a photograph of him at 12, stealing candy from a store. On the back, in sharp handwriting, "We see everything." Mason's envelope contained a ledger and names, dates, deposits. At the bottom, "Return it by Monday, or the IRS joins the conversation." By nightfall, Tyler's father was on the plane. Mason's mother hired a crisis PR firm. The school fell silent. Sophia went home early. Her father was pruning roses in the garden, blood red petals falling like confetti. "Done?" he asked. "Almost," she said. "And the girl who cried?" "She's still quiet." He smiled faintly. "Good." Saturday came with whispers. Sunday, the paper ran a story, no names, just a photo cropped too tightly. Monday, the varsity jackets were gone. Sophia wore her green top again. No one looked at her twice. At 3:02, her phone buzzed. "Night to E4. Check." She smiled, small and secret. Tuesday morning, chaos filled the parking lot. News vans, parents, rumors. Tyler and Mason were gone. A military school, maybe worse. Sophia slipped through the noise unseen, carrying a flash drive for the counselor's office. "This is for the scholarship fund," she said, setting it on the desk. Inside were records of every name, every fine, every apology. Each student would receive a full refund with interest. "Some people," she said quietly, "have more than they need." She left before the bell. By graduation, she had become valedictorian. Her speech was short. "We think power is loud," she said, "but the quiet ones carry the heaviest loads." "To my father, who taught me that silence can be a weapon, and to everyone who looked away next time, look closer." The crowd erupted. Don Moretti stood in the back, sunglasses hiding eyes that might have been wet. Later that night, father and daughter stood by the pool overlooking the city. The water reflected the stars like secrets. "You could have destroyed them," he said. "I did," she replied, "just not the way they expected." He handed her a small box. Inside was a chestnut, black and cold. "For the next game." "There won't be a next," she said. "I'm going to college." "Pre-law." "Someone needs to write better rules." He laughed softly. "My daughter, the reformer." "Your daughter, the quiet one," she corrected. They stood in silence, the good kind. Below them, the city kept its secrets. Above them, the stars kept theirs. And somewhere behind the old gym, a single brick wall remembered the tear that had changed everything. The cafeteria hummed like a beehive. Trays clattered, gossip flew, and every table had its own kingdom, except one. Rowan Lee sat alone near the vending machine, hoodie up, notebook open. Senior year, same seat, same silence. He wasn't invisible. People just liked pretending he was. Easier that way. Across the room, the golden circle at the student council, presidents of everything, loud laughter, curated smiles. At the center, Chloe Warren, class president, influencer, and daughter of the town's mayor. She was everything Rowan wasn't: a bright, loud, adored. And, on Tuesday, she'd made a mistake. It started with a rumor, the kind that spreads faster than wildfire in a school where everyone's holding a match. A teacher accused of something awful. A source who saw everything. By second period, hashtags were trending locally. By lunch, the teacher's desk was empty. And the source? A blurry screenshot from Rowan's notebook. Problem: he'd written nothing. The photo was fake. He knew who made it: Chloe and her team, bored and powerful, testing how fast they could ruin someone's life. Wednesday, 3:17 p.m. The rain hit the courtyard sideways. Chloe stood under the overhang, filming another story. Accountability matters, she said into the camera, crocodile tears perfectly framed. Rowan watched from across the lot. His hand trembled, not from fear, from fury he didn't yet know what to do with. He opened his notebook, flipped to a page filled with timestamps, usernames, and metadata. He'd traced the fake post, every shared link, every repost back to her phone. He didn't want revenge, he wanted the truth. Thursday, 8:02 a.m., the intercom buzzed. All students to the auditorium. Lights dimmed. The principal's voice shook slightly as she spoke about responsibility, about how social media can destroy careers. A projector flickered on. One slide appeared. At the source. Gasps. Rowan walked onto the stage. Not supposed to. Not invited. But no one stopped him. He plugged in a USB. The next slide played messages, screen recordings, voice notes. Greater than let's make it look like he wrote it. Nobody will believe Rowan anyway. Send it. Fast. The audience went still. Chloe's voice was unmistakable. The last slide was simple, I quote, "Greater than the truth doesn't need to shout, it just needs to be seen." He looked up. "You framed him," he said, quiet but steady, and everyone helped by staying silent. Phones dropped. Whispers rippled like thunder. Chloe stood frozen and no followers to save her here. By evening, the video hit 1 million views. Not Chloe's story is. The quiet one was trending. The teacher got reinstated. The mayor's daughter disappeared from social media. Rowan didn't celebrate. He just sat on the school steps, rain soaking his hoodie, notebook closed. Miss Patel, the English teacher he'd defended, stood beside him. "You could have destroyed her." He shrugged. "I just showed what she did." Patel smiled. "That's what justice is supposed to look like.